What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about ZBCN today, Zebec. It is the 9th day of November, and here we are with about 8 hours and 51 minutes left in the day, sitting at $0.003 right now. You guys hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into the analysis. We'll start off on the short term stuff, and then we will zoom out for the long term stuff, okay? 1 hour time frame here. I don't know what to think of you. I don't know what to think of you. Because, I mean, obviously you've broken this line, but that might be a good thing, right? Isn't it like the best time to buy is right here, typically, right? It's like the best time to sell might be when you're outside of this trend line, right? That might have been the best time to sell. I don't know. Maybe. Could be a good point. You broke out, but you're not breaking. However, you have back tested this line for resistance. That could imply lower prices. I don't normally get bearish when we break a line like this. This is actually a time to buy. But when we get this kind of reaction, that can make me hesitant. That's for damn sure. Looking at the indicators might help out. Nope. Very neutral on the RSI. I suppose bullishly implied, but maybe not. It's just neutral. It's very neutral. I don't know if I'd lean one way or another. Neutral bullish because overbought, not getting oversold. That's good. But there's some bearishness implied because you're below the 50 consistently here. While you are holding the 40, you're not even getting near the 60. So there's bullish and bearish things. Truly, it's just neutral. Same thing with the stochastics. And the MACD actually does have some bullish divergence, which is nice to see. But you've kind of made moves up throughout this whole. I don't know. Do you have bullish divergence, or would any of these moves count as a fulfillment of that bullish divergence? Very neutral readings here. I don't know. Looking at this, I guess I'm more inclined to believe that we do go down. But let's look at the 4 hour. The 1 hour might be lying to us. Let's look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour time frame here, we do have higher lows, which is nice, but they don't seem to be prevailing, right? You had a higher low here, higher low there, and now you're kind of rounding. I would think that we come down. I would think we come down. We rejected the 60. Overall, the RSI is bearish. You could have some type of inverse head and shoulders pattern here in the RSI, and you're ready to move up higher. That could happen. I'm sticking with the idea that we go lower. Stochastics suck, and the MACD is also trash. And the MACD is not going to help us, and the stochastics won't be as helpful either when we're just moving sideways like this. Interesting. We are kind of left in the dark here, right? I'm not worried about the price. I don't care if we go lower. It's really not a big deal. I'm more confident that we do progress to lower prices than that we bounce here and move up. But I could really be wrong. I think I am setting myself up to be wrong. It's possible. But if I'm right, we should see 00282 to 00256 come into play. And I do think between those lines is a good estimate. It could be either of those lines, but maybe we do hit the 886 perfectly. We've interacted with the 786 twice now. Perhaps we are due to interact with the 886. But we could hold the 786 for support, get a slightly higher low. We could do a triple bottom, find support directly at those levels there. Something in this zone is what I would look forward to. So 00282, 00256, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Prove me wrong, okay? Because we are in an area where, again, the indicators aren't really helping us on the short-term stuff. Prove me wrong and get a day to close above 0033. If you can close above the golden ratio on a daily time frame, don't wick above there, though. I have to admit, if you got above there at all, I might be inclined to believe I'm wrong. But prove me wrong, validate it, get a confirmation, close above 0.0033 on a daily time frame. And then I'm wrong. And then this is the low, and then we're moving up higher. If I'm right, cool. Then I'm right, and then that's the low, and then we're moving up higher. It's the same thing with just a little, this one has yet to descend, and this one is fully descended. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Looking at the daily time frame, looking at the indicators here, the daily RSI overall is actually very bullish, very volatile, but overall it's very bullish. We're at an area where you would expect to bounce, but we would expect that you bounce here, and you did, but you got tied up at the 40. And you got tied up at the 40 again. Might you come down, bounce again, get a double bottom or a higher low, and with that you coincide a lower low in the daily price, giving you bullish divergence? Wouldn't that make sense? You have bullish divergence on your MACD, you have bullish divergence on your stochastics, but overall bearish outlooks on all these indicators. as far as what the short term could provide. So I want to be clear here, okay? I'm going by the book as far as what I would expect next to happen, as far as calling for 00282 to 00256 to be your support zone. I'm going by the book. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm right in the sense that we move lower, but I could be wrong in the sense that we don't go that low and we just find support barely below where we are now. I really could be wrong. So it's very important to, I would say, not hold your breath over these targets. That is the call. That is what I'm calling for. But I'm just saying don't hold your breath over it. I could be wrong. And in which case, any day now, and we know how this thing moves. Any day now, you could see a move that's like this, right? We were at the same level here, where we are now, right here, all the way back here. And 3 days later, we were all the way up at 0042, 0045. And the weeks after that, only higher, right? So any day now, we're going to be seeing some recovery. That would be my expectation. Regardless of what we do here, any day now, we're going to be moving up, okay? All these different outcomes, they all lead to the same path. It's all higher at the end of the day, okay? Weekly time frame. And I think that's more apparent the more we zoom out, right? You've got this massive accumulative phase here. Massive accumulative phase. You showed your hand early. You came back down and then boom, then you really had the breakout. Now we're consolidating right on top of where our prior resistance points were, right? Literally finding support at our weekly closing high. Finding support here both times at this area of resistance. It just makes a lot of sense that this consolidation phase is bullish and that it would lead to continuation to the upside. If anybody knows, and shout out to oh man, who are they? Shout out to Crypto Future, Rob Mass, and I want to shout out the other two people. I was watching your guys' live stream yesterday. Who was it? Hold on. Let's see here. Let's just look up Rob Mass. Okay, Crypto Future. Let's see here. Do you have it on your thing? Let's see. Blockchain Buzz, yeah. With Rob Mass. Black Ruel Black, Ruel Black, and also ZBCN Man. That's right, ZBCN Man here. Okay, shout out to ZBCN Man and Ruel Black, or Black Rule, whatever. I don't know if I pronounce it the right way or not. But shout out to you guys. I heard you guys talking about Zebec yesterday, and this Elliott Wave theory that we're going with, and I think ZBCN Man agrees. I don't know what Black Rules or Ruel Black's thoughts are on this, but my thoughts, and I think ZBCN Man's thoughts, are that we have an impulsive wave count here, and in which case, and I don't know what Rob's thoughts are either. Actually, I should probably be well informed on that as well, but I would assume we're all in the same boat as far as thinking the price goes higher. My theory, however, and maybe the theory of others as well, is that we're in a 5-wave impulsive count. And if this is a 5-legged move, right, we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 is our consolidation phase. Understand, wave 1 to 2 is consolidation, wave 3 to 4 is consolidation. The way you have it drawn is straight lines, but it doesn't have to be a straight line, right? This is wave 1, this is wave 2. Wave 1, wave 2. Wave 3 is typically bigger, the keyword, bigger than wave 1, typically, okay? It doesn't have to be bigger. It's statistically probable, if we're correct in assuming that this is a 5-wave count, that the next leg would be bigger. And if it is bigger, assuming that it starts here, right, I would think that it would start right here. We were thinking that it would stop here. We've measured this from all over the place, so I think it's important to consistently measure this as the price moves down. It'll give us different targets, okay? We thought we'd break out up here, so we were measuring from this area, right? But it looks like the breakout zone might be closer to like something around here, whatever. This measure move would take us up to about 3 cents, okay? So if we saw the same length move that we saw last time, we would be up at about 3 cents. But again, it's more common in a 5-legged count for the third leg to be bigger than the first leg. The third leg and the fifth leg are typically bigger than the first leg, but the third leg is typically the biggest. Typically, not always, but typically. I want to say it's like 60 to 70% of the time. There's a solid percentage chance that we don't see a bigger leg here on the third wave. But with that in mind, we take the high here to the low there, and that would take us right to our 2272. if from here we saw the same move that we saw back here. But we're not forecasting that, are we? We're forecasting that this move will be bigger than the first leg. So the only acceptable next target area would be about 4.5 to 8 cents, somewhere in that range. And if we're looking at the Bybit chart, it's more like 7 cents, not 7.9 cents, like 7.4 cents. It's different because the highs and the lows are different, whatever. Every chart's different, but 4.5 to 7 cents, 4.5 to 8 cents, whatever, something in this range is personally where I think we're going to go. There are the rare occurrences where the third leg is shorter than the first leg. But how much shorter are we going to be? Are we going to be like to the golden ratio short? I don't think so, right? Like maybe 2 cents, maybe. But again, I feel like even as a maybe pessimistic minimum from here, 2 cents, that's a 6x. 6 to 7x. I mean, that's not bad. And that would likely be either by the end of November, if not by the end of the year. I would think that we are at 3 cents or higher, and from here, that's about a 10x to, you know, I mean, this thing could do a 26, 25x move by the end of the year. Crazy stuff can happen, man. It absolutely can. And if not by the end of the year, I would just say by the end of this move. This next move could top off in December. It could top off, I think it's actually going to top off at the end of January or the middle of January. So it's quite possible that we see something just like this, and then just like here, this is January, right? In the middle of January, we top off. I really do think that this next move, not just for Zebec, but for the market as a whole, I think this next move is going to be something that progresses into 2026. It doesn't stop in December. I think a lot of people will assume that we top off in December, and maybe we even get some volatility at that point to validate that bias. But in January, I think we get a second pump higher. But let me explain my thought, right? Like in December, we'll move up, then we'll find some turbulence. Everyone thinks that's the top because it's the end of the year. It's December. That's the move. But then in January, we have another little leg. That's where we form our bearish divergence. We get our higher high. We get our lower highs in our indicators. That's my thought. I think we'll see a little bit of volatility going into the end of the year. We should be pushing from here to higher prices. But then January, I think, is where we're going to top off. And that topping zone, if we're correct in this theory of the Elliott Wave theory here, we should see something above 3 cents. The only next target to really consider would be 4.5 to 8 cents. That's what I'm stuck on. So I got nothing else. 4.5 to 8 cents by January, by the end of January, and we very well could be there earlier. We don't know. You know, I mean, you could be there in December. You could be all the way up at 8 cents in December. Hell, it could be by the end of this month in November. We don't know. Crypto is crazy sometimes. But that's the next move. So again, this is we spend so much time focusing on this because who cares? Who cares if we drop down even lower than what my targets are? Who cares? The next move is what you should be focusing on. We are clearly in a bullish accumulative phase here. This is clearly a consolidation phase as a result of an overall breakout of a massive accumulation phase here. There's more to come. That's the thought. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Again, shout out to Ruel Black, and shout out to ZBCN Man, and of course, Crypto Future Rob Mass. That was a good show you guys had yesterday. I hope everybody watched that. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.